A tropical disturbance is bringing impactful weather to our area. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather, and it's fantastic to see you for the latest video. And coming up in the video, boy, we have a large tropical disturbance in the Western Caribbean. This is bringing a wide swath of heavy rain, thunderstorms, really gusty winds, rough surf and sea conditions. I'll let you know where it's impacting and how long that's going to last. We have another disturbance over the Bahamas, and that's bringing more severe storms on this Thursday afternoon for us here. And of course, I've got your tropical outlook as well. As we get started, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the lead law firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. It is storm season. The storm moves in your area. You get damage. They can walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. You want to support someone who supports the channel, check out leanonmelaw.com. As always, I want to hear from my Meteo Mundo weather community. What's been happening in your area? What the weather has been like? For many of you, it's been quite active. Those two tropical waves, an abundant amount of moisture and instability, really causing some problems for the western half of the Caribbean on this Thursday. We also have a mid-level disturbance sitting right over the central and the northern Bahamas, more active weather there. Despite the fact we have some high pressure in the western Atlantic in general, another tropical wave moving through the western Atlantic will be impacting the Lesser Antilles as we head towards the weekend. But first things first, we got to get into what's going on right now in the western side of the Caribbean. Again, first of all, I've got the infrared and visible satellite imagery sandwich product on, meaning that you're seeing both. So you're seeing the visible satellite imagery, but also the infrared. And this is really deep convection. Those darker colors indicative of just a ton of moisture and very high cloud tops. I mean, thunderstorms are going gangbusters right now just west of Grand Cayman. Some of this has slipped over the Cayman Islands for today, but a lot of it has stayed just off towards the west. Now, when we're talking about a disturbance, this is just a large area of tropical moisture and gusty winds. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. These are your surface pressure plots right now defined by these lines, and you see that there's a little bit of a kink here, right? Maybe a little bit of a very broad twist, but nothing is trying to wrap up. We have, very uniform pressures. Speaking of uniform, these are your surface-based winds that are basically all out of the east, and nothing underneath this is trying to make that counterclockwise spin. Now, regardless of that, again, we're going to have the impacts very similar to a tropical depression in this area, where we're going to get some wind gusts over 30 miles an hour, very rough surf and sea conditions, and extremely heavy rainfall as well. We'll start off with what's going to be happening in the Yucatan. I'm going to take off the pressure plots and the winds. This is a little bit easier to see, but showers and storms are breaking out at the hour from Cancun, Cozumel, Tulum, Chetumal, on over towards Merida, Campeche area as well, San Pedro, Belize City, San Ignacio. Look, it's going to be an active day. Opportunity for some heavier rainfall as well. Excessive rainfall watch continues for portions of Belize. We could easily have 2 to 3 inches of rain in many locations today. That's 50 to 75 millimeters, and it's going to be a very blustery forecast as well. This will also be tracking right into the northern sides of Honduras. So my friends in the Roatan, Utila, Guanaja areas, once again, brisk winds, kicking up the sea conditions. We're going to get some spells of some nice tropical downpours and a fair amount of lightning as well. San Pedro Sula, La Ceiba in on that act. Again, bulk of the moisture is offshore, but all of this will be rotating in, and you can see from some of the offshore buoys, the numbers that you see are wind gusts in miles an hour. So some of the buoy data I have some winds again approaching 30 and 35 miles an hour. Extra cloud coverage over the Cayman Brac and Cayman, Little Cayman areas as well. It's been a little bit quieter today in Jamaica overall. We've had a few passing showers here or there. No lightning strikes at this point in time for us here. And again, we're just nudging in a little bit of drier air. It's so interesting because just west of Jamaica, you have this huge plume of moisture, and some of this could backbuild its way to the north and to the east. The large wave and strong wind advisory continues, and for the offshore waters of the southern coastline, Pedro Bank and Morant Bank, that continues as well. Let's get into what's happening in the Bahamas. This is another area where we have some really active weather. You can clearly see the spin off of the east coast of Florida. We've had some winds of over 40 miles an hour along the east coast of Florida for today, and we continue to have active severe thunderstorms storms in portions of the central and the northern Bahamas. From Walker's Key to Grand Bahama, the Abacos, Andros, New Providence, Nassau area, Eleuthera on over towards Cat Island. Again, a lot of lightning and really gusty winds with these storms. Let me take off the satellite data so I can bring on the live radar data here at Meteo Mundo, tracking these storms. Now, the interesting thing is they're moving in a different fashion than yesterday. Because that low is now north and west, the storms are actually spiraling in from southwest and moving up to the north and to the northeast, while also kind of building south. So there's a really solid line on this late Thursday afternoon from the Abacos back down to Andros and New Providence, portions of Eleuthera, additional showers over Bimini, and more could build back in over Cat Island, Long Island, Rum Key, San Salvador. But because that low is beginning to pull a little bit farther up to the north, I think we're going to keep the worst weather in this vicinity of the Bahamas for the remainder of today. And look, some of this activity could linger into the evening hours as well. I've got that live look from you guys. This is central Eleuthera for you here. And again, from Governor's Harbor, it's been an overcast, squally day. Can't even rule out a couple of water spouts, an isolated tornado, some isolated flash flooding. This has been some very active weather here. Now, my friends in northern Bahamas, let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area. But obviously this tells the story with the overcast skies at the present time. We'll follow this back off to the south and to the east. Again, we're just starting to see a little bit of Saharan dust moving back into the southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. It's not a thick layer as of yet, but as this instability moves away, drier air is going to replace it. So we're going to be drying out for the most part here in the next day or two. We've also seen that happen over the Dominican Republic and Haiti for today. A few thunderstorms right along the border of Haiti and the DR. Fresh winds, Port-au-Prince 35-mile-an-hour winds, Santiago de los Caballeros right around a 25-mile-an-hour breeze as well. All of this is going to be mainly out of the east. You can see the passing clouds across Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Very high winds here. Aguadilla, Ponce, San Juan, all over 30-mile-an-hour winds, 20 to 25 for Christiansted there on St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John, and the British Virgin Islands. A few passing showers possible here, but not a lot of rain for today. Same situation for my friends, mainly in the Lesser Antilles as a whole. For us here, from Anguilla to St. Martin, St. Bart, Saba, St. Eustatius, Antigua, Barbuda, and Montserrat. Fast-moving showers, elevated surf and sea conditions, many areas with small craft advisories, seas running at least 2 to 3 meters or at least 6 to 9 feet, but some double-digit and feet wave heights are expected in the next couple of days. And we'll see some passing showers for Guadeloupe, Dominica towards Martinique. Now, we get a little bit of moisture coming back in out of the south and west from Martinique south. And, you know, it's spelled, at least if nothing else, a couple of extra clouds over the Windward Islands for today. Not as much breeze for today, but still, you know, some extra cloud coverage. Barbados, back down towards St. Vincent and the Grenadines and T&T. Of course, we have the live cameras across the Caribbean. We take a live look to Corinth, St. Lucia for you right now. And again, a little bit in the way of some gray sky out there, but a little bit more sunshine. Certainly some haze to the sky out there as well. Bit of a breeze, but overall, the weather has improved a bit here in St. Lucia. Great shot to show you there from the Corinth area. And again, an opportunity for a passing shower, T&T for today, but drier. Nueva Esparta, a few showers are on the possibility on the board as well. And these fresh winds continue in the ABC Islands. Aruba today, that is Oranjestad, had a 40-plus mile-an-hour wind gust. A couple of fast-moving showers there, and I can take you live to Oranjestad. And again, just look at the breeze here. Again, from the Costa Linda Beach Resort, it's a beautiful, beautiful beach, and what a beautiful shot. But you can clearly see just all of that ripple activity there near shore. Not fantastic conditions when you get towards the offshore waters of Aruba, and just a heck of a lot of wind there along the immediate coast. Friend of the channel, Jaden, sent us this picture from early in the day where we had overcast skies at Aruba, some fast-moving showers there, and again, a heck of a lot of wind. Jaden, I appreciate you sending in that picture, helping to tell the weather story in Aruba. Let's get into the forecast, friends. Thank you for taking a quick second, hitting that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, you want these daily updates across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, you've found your home. Our Meteo Mundo weather community is fantastic. Click that subscribe button right now. Appreciate those who have shared this channel with your family and friends, those who are members, those who found other ways to support the channel via via the super thanks in the description in the video below. If you want to become a member, 2 tiers for you. Really simple, 99 cents a month. That's the join button, by the way, on the main page of Meteo Mundo. You get custom badges and emojis when we do our live streams. You want to kick it up a notch and become a Team MM member. That is our newest tier. For $2.99 a month, you get access to exclusive member shorts. I grab my phone, I do some member shorts, you know, kind of my behind the scenes thoughts, maybe what the video is going to be about, potentially some updates to tropical systems in between the videos as well. So appreciate all of the members here at MM. All right, this is what the Saharan dust concentration looks like right now. And you can see it really is beginning to move into the southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, over Cuba, and it's fighting the northeast side of that disturbance in the Western Caribbean. But, you know, the Cayman Islands and Cuba and Jamaica and Hispaniola and portions of Puerto Rico are seeing some concentrations of dust, so there should be some haze in the sky in a lot of those areas at the present time. So let's kind of break down how this is going to be evolving over the next couple of days. First of all, some of the tropical moisture that's going to be situated over Central America as a whole will be moving away as our area, which is now Invest 95E, the 6th Invest, and by the way, they're 5 for 5, turning Invest into named storms in the East Pacific, and this more than likely is going to become Tropical Storm Flossie and potentially even worse than that down the road. I'll be monitoring that situation as it moves away, but that should pull some of this moisture away as we get towards the weekend. That being said, for Quintana Roo, Cancun, Cozumel, Tulum, down to the south, Belize, on over towards coastal Guatemala, coastal Honduras, Nicaragua, the Cayman Islands area, Jamaica. All of these areas are in store for extremely wet and stormy conditions, at least through tomorrow evening, and for many areas through Saturday as well. And again, it's the overall cumulative convects that I'm concerned about here, you know, as far as the opportunity for some extremely heavy rainfall, which could lead to some localized flooding, very gusty conditions, kicking up the surf and seas as well, and just a heck of a lot of thunderstorms, keeping folks indoors here because there's a ton of instability. You can just see all the lightning kicking up on this late Thursday. So this is going to be a very active forecast here. Now, things starting tonight will begin to quiet down. I move the strike data rather than grabbing the map. We'll put that back up there and I'll fix it later. But you can see that this mid-level low is spinning up north and west. So we're going to have another couple of rounds of storms tonight in the northern Bahamas, and then things should quiet down in general as the Sahara dust moves back in. And again, quieter but very windy conditions back off into our eastern zones. So let's get into the forecast. I'm going to bring up the GFS model here. We'll take a look at this over the next couple of days, and then we'll break down the extended forecast as well. As that's loading up, take a quick second. I talk a lot these days with the 3 different channels that I do, especially this time of the year, so have to wet the palate from time to time. All right, so you can see what I'm talking about here out west, where some of this moisture gets pulled away. So still wet over Central America over the next 36 hours or so, but we should begin to dry out a bit and be more scattered. Still expecting more rain overall, the southern sides of Nicaragua back down towards Costa Rica and Panama. Again, you can see we're drying out in the Bahamas, which is going to be good news for some of those areas that are really getting pounded by some storms. The next tropical wave will begin to move into the Lesser Antilles starting late Friday, Saturday, and over the weekend. So I do expect there to be better rain chances coming in. Now, as far as where I expect the best rain, as far as the highest opportunity for some heavier rain, it'll start off in portions of the Windward Islands, but this tropical wave, and this is what we expect this time of the year, is beginning to gain a little bit more north latitude. This starts to set up into July and especially August for these tropical waves in the main development region of the Atlantic to have more impacts on us rather than slamming south into South America. So we're beginning to see that intertropical convergence zone lift north, which should pull the tropical waves north as well. Again, it's not until August that we look back into the west coast of Africa to see the waves coming off of the west coast. That has not happened as of yet. But again, we're going to start to see more impactful waves here. So the Grenadines, St. Vincent, Barbados, St. Lucia, Martinique, all areas that could see some spots of heavier rain. And you notice that instead of just tracking due west, there's a little bit of a north push to this. So Martinique, Dominica, eventually towards Montserrat, maybe as far north as Antigua and Barbuda. And again, Better rain chances and passing showers will then come over the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico as well. So there is a bit of a change up with this particular wave. It's not the most robust wave we've actually had, but as far as where it's going to impact the most, we've been back down towards Grenada and TNT with these waves lately, but this one's going to track a little bit farther to the north, even up towards the Dominican Republic and Haiti as well. Again, a little bit quieter Turks and Caicos over the next couple of days. Same situation for my friends in Jamaica. Behind this tropical moisture, the Saharan dust comes in, which also means we have to worry about how hot it's going to be in the afternoon. You know, daytime highs will easily be in the low 90s Fahrenheit. That's going to be 32, 33, maybe even 34 degrees Celsius, and feels like temperatures over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty rough out there as well. So let's get into the island by island forecast, and we'll take a deep dive into the tropical outlook as well. For the Northwest Bahamas, again, really stormy tonight through early on Friday and then quieting down. Isolated shower and storm chances Saturday and Sunday. Central and the northeast, southeast Bahamas, again, relatively dry, upping it just a category on Sunday as some of the concentration of Saharan dust is dissolved, moves away. Turks and Caicos, again, same situation there. Even Cuba's rain chances go down as a Saharan air layer moves in, keeps things a little bit quieter over the weekend. Cayman Islands, at best a 30% chance, might even be a little bit lower than that. Again, Belize City, coastal Guatemala, and Honduras, very wet and stormy conditions throughout Friday. Still a high chance for showers and storms, just a little bit more scattered on Saturday and then more isolated to widely scattered on Sunday. Cancun and Cozumel, pretty rough forecast for tomorrow. 70% chance for storms, 50 Saturday, but it will begin to dry out on Sunday. Jamaica's rain chances, okay tomorrow, passing showers, a few showers in the morning, a few rumbles of thunder in the afternoon, then isolated Saturday and Sunday. The Dominican Republic is relatively dry tomorrow, then building rain chances on Sunday, and that's what you're going to see in Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as that tropical wave moves north late Saturday and especially into Sunday. Rain chances actually pretty high in Puerto Rico and the USVI and BVI. Not expecting a lot of rain the next few days in Bermuda. Again, building rain chances in Anguilla. Quiet tomorrow in St. Kitts and Nevis, but still a lot of breeze. That up to a 50% chance for showers on Sunday. We'll then see in some other areas as you get a little bit farther east or south, your highest chance is actually Saturday, then maybe slightly lower on Sunday, but still not bad. So relatively dry through the Lesser Antilles tomorrow. Much better rain chances on Saturday overall, and then slightly lower on Sunday. Still a little bit farther south, Martinique, St. Lucia, SVG, a better rain chance, holding on to a better rain chance on Sunday. My friends in Barbados, your best chance is Saturday with the axis of that tropical wave right over your area. Continue to expect there to be some marine advisories from time to time, especially on the eastern side of the island for elevated sea conditions, swell conditions overall. For Grenada, 20% chance tomorrow, so basically dry, and then better rain chances Saturday, Sunday. TNT, again, it's just not as elevated. They're going to get up to 50, but it's not like it's TNT that I'm really focused on the highest chance for rain over the weekend. Suriname and Guyana stay with good rain chances. Nueva Esparta will have a couple of showers over the weekend. And there's your building rain chance again with the ABC Islands getting some of that tropical moisture over Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao Saturday and Sunday. What do the rainfall totals look like on the GFS model? Well, again, my concerns are going to continue to be over portions of Central America in the coming days. And again, this is over the next 5 days here, but you look coastal sides of Nicaragua on over towards Honduras, and you're going to get a couple of areas, 8-9 inches of rain here. That's, going to be, let's say, conservatively in a couple of spots, 150, maybe up to 200 millimeters of rain. You get up to 8 inches. So it's a problem here for coastal Honduras and Nicaragua back down towards Costa Rica and Panama, towards San Jose. Some coastal areas as well on over towards El Salvador. And again, the west side here, so Managua, even Tegucigalpa, Guatemala City. This is all going to be from what's likely to become flossy. Now, back to the Caribbean coastline, Belize City, Dangriga, Punta Gorda, San Ignacio, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain additional from what's already fallen. Again, this does not take into account what has already happened. It's just from now up into the next 5 days. Chetumal as well, on over towards Cancun and Cozumel, Merida, Campeche. Again, some showers and storms there. Still more focused on the Caribbean side, the eastern side of the Yucatan rather than the western side. Notice again, the rain over Cuba is very scattered. You have much more isolated rain over Jamaica. How much more rain could fall over the northwest side of the Bahamas? Again, a couple of pockets of maybe 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in a couple of spots. The majority of the heaviest rain has now moved away, but it's still going to be pretty stormy there. And again, overall, you get drier air back into portions of the Greater Antilles and Lesser Antilles, but that next tropical wave has the opportunity here in places like Dominica and Martinique to provide a couple of spots of some heavier rain, maybe 1 to 2 inches. I think that's probably a pretty good number. All right, now let's get into the extended forecast, friends. I'm going to go back over to the GFS model. We'll bring this out to the 3rd of July. And again, it's not too far away. I never like to get too deep unless there's something that I just see that we have to talk about in a 10 to 14 day time frame, because, you know, there's a lot of false signals here, you know, on these global models when you get that far out. But there are a couple of things that I want to mention, and then I'll show you a still frame of the European model to some things that I'm going to be highlighting. Now, over the last several videos, we've been talking about the Western Caribbean. Again, a lot of wind energy with this disturbance, but nothing that's going to wrap up in the low levels. Still, we'll be watching the Southwest Gulf right towards the end of the month to see if anything gets a little bit squirrely. Generally speaking, the models, even the GFS, have backed off on that a little bit. One thing that it has not backed off on, again, is Flossie, the 6th-named storm of the East Pacific season. This one could get strong in a hurry and have more impacts to the southern coastline of Mexico, including Acapulco. The interesting thing is, far down the road, we should get an overall troughing pattern coming off of the east coast of the United States, and a little bit more tropical moisture coming into this. And overall, as we head towards, you know, the first few days of July, especially like July 3rd, July 4th, July 5th, there could be a little bit more active weather to be monitoring northern Bahamas, off the coast of Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas here, all right? It's just an area that the models are signaling a little bit more activity to start the month of July. Still passing waves coming through the Lesser Antilles, but at this point in time, I don't see anything beginning to spiral up, but we should expect improved rain chances there as well. Now, when I go over to the wind profile, and again, these are surface-based winds. Now, we've talked about the wind gusts that have already been in excess of 40 miles an hour in some spots today, like Aruba. That's not going to change. As a matter of fact, again, you know, we've been harping on this area a lot, but if you see these whites, like over Utila, Roatan, and Guanaja, you should expect from time to time in the next 48 hours, some gusts to go over 40 miles an hour. Despite the fact that we're not wrapping up anything at the lower levels, there's a heck of a lot of energy and instability in the atmosphere to produce a lot of wind. That will eventually go over the Yucatan and into the Southwest Gulf. And again, at this point in time, now again, the GFS model gets a little bit sneaky here, right? And you can clearly see that there is this donut hole right here in a couple of days. But the profile of the winds on the south and the west side are very weak, all right? I'm not sure that there's enough time before it moves back into Mexico that anything happens out of that. But that's an area that we've been watching here at Meteo Mundo the last, I don't know, 7 to 10 days towards the end of the month. That continues to be an area of interest. Regardless, between that and Flossie down here, you've got the flooding potential, some big time problems potentially for South Mexico in the coming days. Then towards, again, the beginning of July, if we look up here, you're just going to see a little bit more wind begin to pick up. You see that, right? A little bit of a curlicue there, right? It's a little bit more interesting if this gets towards the Gulf Stream, that warm current along the United States East Coast. You can see there's a little twist. You can clearly see, look back down here towards the northern side of the Bahamas, and then that twist just kind of sneaks up right along the Gulf Stream. Let me go down a little bit farther south so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If you look back right over Grand Bahama, you see a little bit of a curlicue there, and it gets sucked up into this. So that's the GFS model. This is the European model for early morning, the 5th of July, Saturday, right? Couple of plots here, right? Couple of areas, just a little bit more disturbed weather to keep an eye out for, right? The European didn't really have anything towards the end of the month in the Southwest Gulf, which sounds very plausible, and still keeping the rest of the Atlantic and the Eastern Caribbean quiet. So again, we'll be watching this area, and then down the road, I think it's off the east coast of Florida and the northern Bahamas. That's the next area to keep an eye out for. Friends, I appreciate you guys. Follow us across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video, it's mymeteomundo@gmail.com. If you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. While you're down there, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And please remember, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the lean law firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. It is storm season. Storm moves into the area. You get hail damage, wind damage, hurricane damage. Heck, if you've been in an auto accident, they can help you out. They'll walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. go to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. Friends, have a great rest of your day. I'm back tomorrow with the latest forecast right here at Meteo Mundo.